vision behind this dream that we have gathered here for today.
Molweni. Greetings and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, program directors. It is gratifying to be here today at this iconic university. It is humbling indeed, program director, to be standing here in front of all of you. It is not because of a bright idea. It is indeed because of the humility of the leadership that we have observed from the head of state, President Ramaphosa. In 2019, at the State of the Nation address, when he introduced the district development model, I believe it was an appropriate diagnosis of the nature of our government. President Ramaphosa said, we need to remove the silos in government to bring about one plan, one budget. And I'm very delighted that the South African Council for Graduates has added a third dimension to that, a coherent implementation of government's plans. Professor Andre Kiet, Acting Vice Chancellor of the University, council members, the Deputy President of the Deputy Chairperson of the Council, members of Senate, executive management of the university, I greet you all. The Chairperson of the SAGRA Board, Ms. Busu Nsucha, the Deputy Chairperson, Mr. Mark Cunningham, and the SAGRA team, good afternoon. I'm elated to have in our midst the President of the South African Local Government Association, Mr. Bheke Stofile. This is such an important institution. And I think the idea of a DDM, it is SALGA that is foundational. Without SALGA, no provincial and no national government can do the work in South Africa. Professor Somadoda Fikeni, thank you again for not joining us here today, but for working with us on the sidelines to ensure that this conference become a success. The most important people in this room, ladies and gentlemen, the students that we have here, the South African Union of Students, we have the Secretary General, Mr. Lukhanyo Daweti. These are the people that are going to take over. They are going to be running this administration. But what kind of an administration are we handing over to them? Is it a functional, a viable, or an engine that is dysfunctional and about to collapse? We cannot hand over an entity that is about to collapse. It's not going to work. Mr. Daweti, we humbly say that we would like to hand over a viable, functional country to you. I am delighted to also see Mr. Eric Sebukedi, who is an icon and a stalwart in the development of student leaders in South Africa. Let's give him a round of applause. This giant has worked tirelessly without any form of compensation to ensure that student leaders in South Africa, going back to the early 90s, and he still does that even today. The mayors, the municipal managers, the speakers of councils, the chief whips that are here, congratulations and thank you very much for joining us. This conference is not here today to complain. We are not here to point fingers or cast aspersions, but we are here today to say, how do we take lessons from 2023 conference and make sure that we continue with the insights that were shared at Stellenbosch? When we partnered with the University of Stellenbosch, program director, the goal was to ensure that we help municipalities to become viable in South Africa. The SAPC did ask this morning, Professor Kiet, what have we succeeded from the 2023 conference? Have we seen the results of a viable local government? And I'm here to say yes and no. In 2024, our focus is accelerating the rewards of a viable intergovernmental relations. DDM may have been a concept from the president, but IGR is in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. So did we need DDM for IGR to happen? No, we did not. But we have a leadership that has said, here is DDM. If you go to the Western Cape province, where the Democratic Alliance is in governance, they have a different set of an intervention, which is not DDM. We are in an era where South Africa is governed by coalitions through a government of national unity. The 2026 elections are coming. We have seen with the instability in government, particularly in local government. 2 weeks ago when I was here, there was a different mayor. I come back to the conference, there's a new mayor. Is that the will of the people? These rewards, President Stofile, that we're talking about, what are they? The rewards of a viable government talks to clean, reliable, affordable water. When I open my tap, am I going to find clean, reliable water that I can be able to buy? Umntu ohlala kwaMagxaki okanye e4 plus, Professor Kiet, would they be able to afford the same water that a person who lives in Summerstrand will be able to buy? If we cannot have that, we do not have a democracy. The second part of what these rewards are, it is the reward of having a reliable electricity that is affordable, not the one that grows up every year by 36% or 34%. How then do we sustain these rewards to communities in Woma, in 4 plus, KwaZakhele, in Zwide? Can the people, when they do not have employment, afford to pay for the municipal services? Or we are going to have a big and comprehensive indigent list? The executive mayor of Herikwala municipality is here. We would like to know, Mayor, how big is your list of indigents? what percentage of the population, the working population, the economically active population is made up of the indigent community. But also, ladies and gentlemen, the DDM seeks to interrogate, do we have roads and infrastructure that is well maintained? How much does it cost to repair our roads? Are these prices justifiable? Mr. Stoffel, are the prices justifiable, or this is another means for comrades to eat? And we must remember, comrades are everywhere. Comrades are everywhere. Each and every party has comrades. Can we justify the costs, the increases in budget, the escalations that we see in budget? Can we justify those? If we cannot, these are not the rewards that the voters, the citizens of this country requires. As we move to 2025, the ethos of DDM remains that the communities, the citizens must see themselves as shareholders, Ms. Muhlatlan, not just stakeholders, shareholders. Dr. Nyenyiso, are those that are unemployed of our country able to have a say in how the government is run? Do we have competent officials in government? Do we have capable leaders elected? If we do not have, we are going to fail this nation. But I believe in the viability of South Africa. I believe in the partnerships that we have forged, that South Africa is going to succeed. I believe that the dreams of Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, Robert Sobukwe, Stephen Bantu Biko, their death, their imprisonment, and their suffering, they are not in vain. The Bible that I read in the book of Isaiah 65, please go and read it when you get home. Isaiah 65 from verse 21 to 24, it says, "You shall not labor in vain. We shall build houses and live in them. We shall plant vineyards." Mr. Malulek, we shall plant vineyards and enjoy their fruits. These are the rewards, Dr. Mueng, the rewards of government, of the people, by the people, for the people. The investment that has been made here is huge. When we came here, the university said, we have no budget for DDM. I'd like us to give the university a round of applause. And it was clear there was no budget. But we are being hosted here today so that we can deliberate on matters that are important for this nation, this great nation, to rise. Not to make it greater again, like Donald Trump has said in America. We want to be better than the United States of America. We have within us as a country, as a nation, to be the richest country on earth. If you look at the tenants of the richest countries in the world, by GDP per capita, you do not have countries such as the United States, Germany, China, Japan. Small countries such as Macau, they make the top of the top three. Can South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, be the richest country in the world? Certainly, yes. We can do that. But what will it take? Taking from what Nelson Mandela said, we should stop kowtowing behind the politicians. Politicians are a part, 25% of how the economy should be managed. The other 25% are the citizenry. The academics, the leaders in business, the workers of this nation. Do we have the work ethics that will sustain us to become an exporting and manufacturing powerhouse? Ladies and gentlemen, this conference belongs to you. Ours was to make an investment. We will continue. In 2023, we invested 3.5 million rand to the conference. 2024, thanks to the board of SACRA, we've approved another 4 million rand. This is money that is earmarked to improve that graduates become employable in South Africa. This is money that has been made available to ensure that we've got employable graduates. But we're looking at the bigger picture. Graduates become employable in a society where when they come to the workplace, they are given values and they are able to be mentored and to be coached and to be trained. We believe that this conference is a necessary vehicle to help government work together with civil society and business to grow our economy and to ensure that we leave a country to our children and grandchildren that is functional. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maqubela. Can we give him a round of applause again? I think this is the kind of cooperation that we need, and we are so grateful to all the stakeholders who are able to come in and invest in a conversation and a summit or a setup like this where you can have different people who believe in one goal, that this country can succeed, as Mr. Maqubela said.